Greetings, brethren, sistren, and otheren. Welcome to the inaugural Team D live stream. Here we are at the Fortress of Bone with our three doughty adventurers. We have got Acolyte Xander, a shield, a servant of the light. We've got Luther Zeal, a crucible, fire mage. Definitely, I mean, I think it's fair to say that Luther is definitely not a servant of the light. And then Ranveer the Covenant, a warlock written small. He's making deals with spirits, most of which currently are with another celestial entity. And the three of them, last time in our session 0, found themselves en route from point A to point B when they found a bunch of dead bodies, obviously the victims of foul play. They searched a little for some supplies and found a note where this other group had been sent off to find some things from the Fortress of Bone. Fortress of Bone. None of them had ever heard about it, but it gave some pretty good directions, and they found it. They found the Fortress of Bone, probably called that because it's surrounded by a several yard deep ring of skeletons, some of them going back to the God's Fall, going back to the last war. Some of them slightly more recent, some of them very recent, some of them showing signs of puncture wounds all the way through the torso, and some of them being cut entirely in half. That's fun. They found a body of an ancient times military officer, and among his effects was a journal. The journal mentioned that this fortress was storage for some type of mighty weapon or weapons. Approaching the fortress, they found several places where the wall had crumbled, and peeking through and around a little bit, they saw a large, like wagon-sized, centaur-like statue, something made of metal. If you've got a centaur body, but mounted on the back was a swivel mount ballista that looked pretty capable. It was unmoving, slumped, showing no signs of any capacity to do any damage. So, sneaking in a little bit, they were surprised. It was actually a viable object, and the centaur statue moved swiftly to attack them. Luckily, our covenant had a light spell up his sleeve, and casting it on a piece of bone, he hucked it in the other direction, drawing the attention of this construct. They attempted to get into a large outbuilding to no success, ran like Hades to the next outbuilding, were able to get inside, where Acolyte Xander very cleverly tripped a booby trap, fireball, which he leapt atop bravely, to great effect, was able to channel the energies away from self and others. No harm, no foul. Everyone inside, door slammed. And now, looking out the windows, you can see that the thing has taken up station, and it's got a direct line of sight on the only door that you have found out. So, a cursory search of the building showed that it was some sort of mess hall and kitchen, mess kitchen. Found a few things, some fading out orbs containing magical light, not very bright, but useful in some conditions. They found some rations stored in honey, so those will be probably pretty good. And they also found a small gemstone, fiery in nature, just trembling and quivering with magical energies. And our covenant thinks this might be some sort of missile weapon. Maybe somebody put a fireball or something similar into a container, just ready, just absolutely ready to be used. So we had some questions for the group between last time and this time. First of all, Acolyte Xander,
Yeah.
you feel somehow that the spirit that you serve has brought you to this place for some reason, and that it may be tied to one of your tasks. You owe many tasks to your spirits. in order to have your powers. Why would your spirit want you here of all places?
Um, I think. Hold on, let me open my guide. I think we. So loves light stuff, right? Loves shiny bits and pieces. That's what I bring back for offerings, and I think I talked about maybe one of my tasks being that I need to bring back some piece of valuable something. Um, and while I want to hopefully convert people and make it the religion of the place, I feel like right now, Hikari really does want a nice offering because I feel like recently maybe it's been slowing down the rate of
Hmm.
us bringing in nicer, shinier, precious metals, and that kind of hasn't that's slowed down just a tad for our church.
And just not scratching the itch. I get it.
Exactly.
Also, remind me of your three oaths, please.
Okay, so I took. Hold on, I'm gonna pull this up real quick because I remember
Okay.
I wrote it down. I took I went with I shall give aid to any innocent who asks it of me.
Mhm.
I shall offer any foe mercy when defeated, and I shall protect the weak from the unrighteous.
Beautiful. 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 Thank you so much. All right. Now, our crucible, Luther. Um, question for you. Your spirit, your fire spirit, hungry for souls, among other things. Your spirit has whispered to you of something special here, something that it particularly hungers for. What kind of thing is your spirit looking for?
I believe that I believe my spirit is looking for something powerful deep within the Tower of Bones. I believe that there is some item of uh probably magical item that is just that it could feed on, that it could use, so they
Uh,
could use to become more powerful, take more souls. And
yes.
I think it's my job to help it find it.
Wonderful. Excellent. And then we have our good covenant, Randvir. Randver, most of your powers are coming from another celestial spirit. And though they are celestial, they do have some different opinions with the acolytes of spirit about the definitions of things like good and righteous and just. And they also have some strong opinions on appropriate actions to take in pursuit of the good and the holy. How do the two of them differ, do you think?
So, my spirit, Jacinda, they believe in good as something that benefits all, not just the interests of one or interests of a certain organization or community. It's a, it's they believe in the good for all. So this believes in sparing people, forgiving people, even if they don't necessarily people think they don't deserve to be forgiven, giving others a second chance. And by justice, they believe in justice, but not punishment.
Okay. Okay. So it sounds like your spirit has a broader overview of who should benefit from. Okay. Okay. Beautiful. 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 Kind of makes sense. So you're not in any disagreement currently, unless there comes to a time when the acolytes like, no, we're going to protect our people and these people, and you're like, no, 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 we're going to have to protect everybody. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Excellent answers to some excellent questions, folks. Appreciate you. Now, the three people that you're most worried about are you. Yeah, you're basically trapped in the mess hall, which is unusual in that it only has the one entrance. Who knew? You have done a cursory search of the location, um, and have found a couple of interesting things, but your search has been far from exhaustive. Um, and you do have a fairly lethal construct. Call it a created, call it a forged, if you've heard those words. But there's something out there that wants you all dead. Um, So that's going to have to be dealt with at some point. So, what do you do?
Having we have just searched the whole place, so I think Xander's gonna kind of like post up at the door and wait for the other two to finish up with their stuff, and then once we all kind of group up, I think I'm gonna say something along the lines of like, hey, so do either of you have a plan for this thing? Cause I don't really know how we're gonna handle that.
Okay.
I believe Ranvier is done with all his searching around and poking around and joining Xander. I, I would suggest we use the light trick again.
Okay.
Okay.
Excellent. So, again, you've opened like 2 of 20 cabinets. You've searched in 3 of 30 lockers. You're done. Is that what I'm hearing?
What are the materials? Like, what is the wall made out of? Like, what are the walls of the room made out of?
Good question. This entire structure is made of stone. In your flight from point A to point B, you did see that there are the ruins of um, like old wooden outbuildings. The ones that are showing up on the map are the only ones that have still survived, but you see bits and pieces elsewhere. Um, so this is stone. It's a single story, narrow, high windows, suitable for defense, uh, typical castle construction. Um, so what do you do?
Are there any weak points in any of the walls that would like could possibly be breakable?
Um, I mean, the construction is a couple hundred years old. Um, so if you had suitable tools, you might be able to knock a hole in the wall um, somewhere. Um,
Are
it
are we
would it
con
would take a little bit.
are we convinced that there's like nothing? Okay, so you said we searched like 2 out of the 20 cabinets.
Yeah, you didn't do. I mean, you did a cursory search. Um, nothing. There hasn't been a concerted, turn over every table, look behind everything, search here. But
Right. Okay. And you'd say that like the rest of the cabinets probably look the same as what we have searched. Nothing really sticks out in the room.
yeah, everything was closed up when you got here.
Okay.
Though you did find, a skeleton curled up in one of the lockers with
Yeah.
the gemstone in it.
Yeah. I think Xander's gonna. I think having the idea of I need to protect these people, he's gonna try and kind of do a threat assessment and think, okay, well we haven't necessarily searched this area and say, all right, I feel like we play fetch with this centaur again, but and continue looking around just to make sure it's safe and that we're the only ones here. I think we are, but how are we gonna handle it like permanently? Because we what happens if fetch doesn't work anymore?
I don't know if there's really anything we could do. I mean, it's a giant metallic centaur that could probably kill us just by looking at us. So I think that we would need like a really creative solution to like kill it.
Well,
What
you
about
do have that explosive device now. I'd
I
hate for you to have
do.
to use it.
Why? But it's a huge explosion. It could help.
It could. So
But or
maybe
should we save that for like a last ditch, like nothing
right,
else is
right.
worth?
Let's play fetch first, and then if it doesn't bite, we throw a grenade and run.
Okay. So you're taking the direct approach then. Lovely.
Yeah.
Okay. So, um, all right. So you do have the advantage that you get to set up whatever assault you're planning on making. It is motionless back in its original position,
Okay.
which unfortunately is in direct line of sight of that door. If memory serves, it attacked as literally as soon as you set foot inside of the parameters of the fortress. So it's going, and it's a fast mover. It's got 4 legs,
Yeah.
and that double-sized halberd that it's carrying, quite scary. So did you have any plan of who goes where and when?
I think I'm in the front, right, guys?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
then after that, I think we need to have Ranveer kind of like right there to hopefully quickly throw something. Ranveer, do you see? I hate to desecrate a corpse, right? But do you see any of those bones on that skeleton that like are solid enough to throw, or anything in here that's solid enough to throw?
Excellent question. The skeleton that you have access to there is in, for all intents and purposes, perfect shape. Um, every bone is intact, and the dry and the cool, it basically is complete. Leg bones, skull, all of those would be useful in something similar.
I suggest probably the femur then.
Okay. So I'm hearing femur, a light spell, distract the creature somehow, and then
Yeah.
are you running? Are you attacking?
I
What's
think I think we run if it works, and then we attack if it doesn't work. Where do you guys want to go? Like, start looking at this map here. I kind of want to head like this direction. What do you guys think?
deep, deeper into the fortress?
Yeah,
I I absolutely want to go deeper into it because I feel like there must be like something really good here
I agree.
for my needs.
Okay. Let's see. All right, you've done a little I'm going to give you the benefit of a little bit of an observation. So, um, you can see, let's see here. You've seen a little ways over into the south side there. You can see a little way between the two central buildings. There's apparently a wall back there. Don't know if it's complete or not. Also from here, um, a little more inside that, toward the big buildings in the corner. There's the big one and the little one. Other than that, observations are inconclusive. Um, Xander, you've had some military training. You normally defend a fortress from the outside in and from the bottom up. Um, the the stuff in the northeast corner looks, it's got more of a stable vibe to it than it does um like Fortress Redoubt. If you are assessing, the more important buildings are probably going to be the two in the center.
I
And you
think
see
I
a
think
little bit
Xander's interested here then.
like that. So you got
Okay.
two buildings in the center. Um, you've got you're not really sure. You're really not sure about anything behind it or beyond it, but there apparently is or was a wall there. So, and you probably know this over here. This was like murder holes and stuff. Um, the entryway was probably a lethal set of murder holes and pouring boiling oil on invaders type things. Um, fairly easily bypassed now that you got multiple gaps in the curtain wall. So, all right. So you got a plan. You're ready to go. Who has the gemstone like item?
I think I have it.
Okay, beauty. All right. So Xander first out the door, followed by
Ranveer.
Ranveer.
Ranveer. All right. So, and you're ready. Okay. So, Xander, you open the door, step out. That ballista immediately pivots, and the thing reaches up a hand and fires. Inbound spear. What do you do?
You say like am I out of the doorway or in the doorway?
You've just stepped forward out of the doorway.
I think I'm gonna try and like move out of the way while keeping my shield up, so in case it does hit me, it may try and like glance off of me if I can.
Okay. If you step aside, Ranveer's possibly going to take a spear,
Oh,
just
that's
as an
right.
FYI.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll just hold on. Yeah, I'll take it. I guess I'll try
Okay.
and see if I can.
So one of your options is safeguard. If you want to do that, you can potentially reduce the incoming damage.
Yeah, I'll for sure safeguard.
Okay. Give me a roll.
All right.
Safeguard 11. Okay. Holding 3. So on safeguard, your options are you can choose one of these or up to 3 of these. You can redirect an attack from the thing you defend to yourself. Since you are currently defending yourself, that's fine. You can half the incoming damage or effect. You can give an ally +1 forward against the attacker. Or if you're in range, you can deal damage to the attacker equal to your level. If you
Okay.
can tell me why you'd be able to deal damage at that range, I'll listen. But if you want to half the incoming damage and give your allies each a +1 to their next action, that's possible as well. What do you do?
Yeah, I think I would have to damage and then give both of them +1.
Beautiful. Go ahead and give me 4d10, please.
Oh boy. All right.
And if you roll it
4d10.
perfect. Okay.
28.
So we're going to pick 2 of those. So that's going to be 16. 16 plus 4, which would be 20. You're going to reduce that to 10 points of damage. Unfortunately, that's 2 piercing. So we're going to ignore 2 points of your armor, leaving you with 1 armor. So take 9 points of damage. It is also forceful. So give me a quick roll, please, to stay on your feet.
Ooh, not good at this. Oh, not good at this. Okay. It's not okay. Oh boy, roll 20. There we go. Ooh.
Ouch. Okay, mark experience. This thing knocks you, well, this might be good news. You don't know. Just because of the angle, this thing knocks you past the building to about here. Because you were a couple of steps up and it went boom and knocked you straight out. You see the ballista reloading itself as the thing grips the halberd in 2 hands and charges. It's going to be here in moments.
Okay.
Ranveer, Xander just flew past the side of the building out of sight. You don't know his status, but that thing is bearing down on you. What do you do?
I go for the light spell
Okay.
on the femur.
Okay. Did you go ahead and cast the light spell on the femur inside, or are you going to attempt it now?
I'm gonna attempt it now.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and give me a spell roll, please. Okay, that would be your cast a spell move on your main page. Boom. Okay, so it works. Do you want to take -1 going to cast spells? Do you want to lose access to the light spell until you've had a chance to rest? Or would you like some unwanted attention or something interesting happen? Otherwise, you can be transgressing against your patron and need to perform suitable rituals later.
Either gain unwanted attention or something interesting happen. So
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so the light spell works. let's see, what would be something interesting? A light spell. Oh, okay. Um, the light spell, it's not only on the femur, but it's also if you've got a little on your fingertips. If might be easily hideable, might not. Go ahead and give me a quick roll to get rid of that leg bone to see if you can draw the attention of the creature. Okay, okay. You didn't throw it as far as you wanted. Which direction did you throw it?
I threw it the opposite direction of where our plan to run was.
Okay, so you all were headed over here, I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, so you threw it this direction, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. All right. And the thing veers and heads straight for the glowing bone. Um, Luther, the plan is currently working. What do you do?
I mean, why get involved if it's working? I'm just gonna go like sneak over to Xander, see how he's doing.
Okay, sneaking over to Xander will put you directly in line of sight of this creature when it looks up.
Crap.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm not doing it. Nah. I'll just stand in the doorway. I'll just wait things to play out.
Okay, so you're not going to run over toward the location that you had specified earlier.
Uh, uh
I'm just wondering what the plan is.
I think.
yeah, why not? Yeah.
Okay. So,
Feeling
all right.
very
So this thing is here, and it cleaves through that bone in about as much time as it took to say that. Our Flame Lord sets off at a fast run and gets about here before anything else happens. Our one servant of light is here. Oh, that's not dark. Our one servant of light is here. And our covenant, let's put you right there. All right. So, Xander, that really hurts.
Yeah.
Hey, go ahead and give me a let's see if we can save some stuff here. Go ahead and give me a World of Pain roll, please. World of
Boy.
Pain.
All right. World of Pain.
Okay. So, loses, let's see. Suffer the tough, get knocked down, dying. Okay. Yeah, so lose your footing is actually the only bad thing that happened to you. You are prone. You can get up as part of your action. That thing chops through the bone, and the head whips around to see the two of you in sight. It is gearing up to charge you. What do you do?
Okay. I'm gonna shout to Luther, cause he's made his way close to the boat. He's out of sight, right?
As far as you can tell.
Okay. I want to. I'm gonna see if I can move probably back. Where's the doorway to this building right here?
Right where the gray walkway leads, it's right
Walkway is
there.
going into. Okay.
Door's still open.
All right. Yeah, I think I'll get up and I'll try and run honestly into that building to take
Okay.
cover.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, so Ranveer, Acolyte Xander is retreating into the building. What do you do?
I think I'm going to retreat in the building as well.
Beautiful. Okay, so you two are in. Door slam shut. Luther, you're running. That brings you, let's see here. Grab this. That brings you past these past this wall here. So let us reveal the area there. You do see another area. There's a broken patch of wall interior, and over in here you see some things. Just a quick glance shows some sort of wagon, maybe Also, you see some doorways on the buildings ahead of you. There is a large door here. Oh, that's a circle. Didn't want a circle. There is a large door there. And let's make that a square. Um, so, um, you hear a clatter behind you. You're not quite sure where that thing got off to, but and you're not quite sure that that's tracking you. But, and strangely enough, you don't hear your friends running after you. What do you do?
I think I would definitely try to like maybe quietly get to this room right here, the top door.
Okay, so get there. All right. Let's see. So you get over there. Let's see. um, it's a large double door, like a stable door. Um, seems to be unlocked. What do you do?
I'm gonna go in.
Okay, so you go in. You hear a clatter behind you as pounding metal feet um, charge up to the room or charge up to the building that you were next to. Um, and you don't see any actual windows in here. The other two, you can quickly determine that after inspecting that area where Luther disappeared, the creature makes its way back to its normal sentry location. Okay, so Luther first. You are in well, you're not quite sure. It's extremely dark in here. Pitch black, cold, um, stone floors, um, and there's just a thin little crack of light around the edges of the double doors there. Doesn't smell like stable though. Um, what do you do?
Can I use my lantern to create like a bit more light?
Certainly. Okay. So this is it's all one space. Apparently some sort of repair facility. There's you see some cold forges with hoods and vents and spaces for smoke to go out. There are bins. A couple of them are half full of coal. Large industrial size bellows to get the fires going. Some fairly impressive tool sets. There's some trash in various corners. There's some um, like large, probably garbage bins, big bins of like scrap metal here and there. Um, and in the center of the space are two odd looking objects. Um, your first instinct is wagons, like old ancient times wagons. Um, your second instinct says there's no place to hitch up an animal to that. Um, six large metal wheels, spoked, heavily spoked. Um, and there's no place for like a drover to sit. Um, and it's heavily armored. You can see light shining off of metal plates. Um, and it's very boxy. You see some dents in the metal on the sides. Um, unsure. What do you do?
Can I walk over and like see if there's anything like in it or like around it that could be like useful?
Sure. Next to it is a rolling table on which are some tools. There's also one of those light orbs that you found. This one looks like it's supposed to be portable specifically, as opposed to having to take it off the wall. And it's it's got an inscription on it. You're literate, correct? You know how to read.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. You think you recognize the script. It's just two words. One is Artenac, one is Dentinac. What do you do?
Um, can I like keep that like script in my paper just in case so like someone else in my party knows what it is or what it could be referring to?
Sure. Again, it's inscribed on the side of the sphere. The sphere's about the sphere
Yeah.
fits easily in your hand, but it says Artenac and Dentinac. Um, apparently scribed into the glass or whatever it's made of.
Okay. Okay. Can I look inside the wagon and see like
Okay.
what's in there?
So you go again, you've got your lantern, you go around. The back is actually a big like loading, like a tailgate almost. And it's quite tall. It's open and you realize it's a sort of a ramp to the floor. You're looking in there. Um, this seems to be some kind of vehicle. There are benches built into the side of the wagon. The thing goes all the way up and over, so it's armored on apparently four sides. Um, there are little like arrow slits, only small, looking out in various places, and they have shutters on the inside, so you can even close those. It would be quite dark in here. Um, and then the front has got little slit windows on three sides. Your view here would be very, very bad. But again, it looks like some sort of like vehicle. Um, got the wheels, you got benches for people to sit. The back flops down, armored, but you don't see anywhere to hitch up a horse or an ox or whatever. There is one lone. It's not even a seat. It's like a well, it's kind of a seat. It's a narrow, I'm sorry, not a very wide bench with a back sort of bolted onto it and some unusual dials and bars and knobs and things um, in front of it. So while you're investigating that, the two of you back in the mess hall. Ow, ow, ow. Xander, this hurts like you wouldn't believe.
God.
You caught, the good news is you caught a glancing blow from this. So most of the damage is going to be shock, either from taking it at an angle on the shield and getting knocked on your back. Both hurt quite a bit. You're not bleeding, bonus. It didn't go entirely through your torso, also bonus, but you're a little shook. What do you do?
Uh, you said that this place didn't necessarily have any windows. Can I like
Uh, your the mess hall does. The place where Luther does not.
okay? Can I see through the windows if it's like is Xander able to see whether it's still coming for us or not?
Um, it has evidently taken up its sentry position back where it was. You can tell that the ballista is fully reloaded. Again, it's
Damn.
slumping in its I'm not really alive and active position. But yeah, it's got its head vaguely turned toward you, and you've seen how quickly it can react.
Okay. I
What
think
do you do?
I'm gonna turn to Ranveer and I'm gonna say, okay, all right, change of plans. I don't know where Luther is. I'm guessing Xander didn't see where Luther went, like almost at all.
No, no
Okay,
idea.
so as far as I'm concerned, right? Do you know where Luther went? Is what he's gonna ask Ranveer.
Would Renvir know where Luther went?
You saw him running in the direction that you all three agreed on, but haven't seen him since. The good news is the statue thingy has been in pretty much in plain sight, except for a moment. You don't know if that would have been time for it to murder the hell out of Luther. And Luther has been known to put up a fight in the past, so you probably would have heard that, and it would have taken longer than the creature had. So, yeah,
Cool. All right. I think Xander's gonna look at Ranveer then and be like, okay, all right, all right. I think we know what we gotta do, right? You gotta cast your spell on multiple bones. We gotta try and like distract this thing for a long enough period that we can run. So maybe there's something else in here that we could like look for to do that. But while you do that, I'll look through some cabinets, see if there's any maybe medical things I can find. Uh,
okay.
so that's what I think Xander's gonna do. Is he's gonna look through some more cabinets. Like, okay, time to actually formulate a plan. We can't just get by this thing as quickly as we thought.
Gotcha. By the way, you are aware that you have Hands of Grace, correct?
Uh, I did not realize that. So Hands of
Yes.
Grace.
Hands of Grace is basically, other systems might call it lay on hands.
Right.
Basically, if you roll well, and you can use that a relatively unlimited amount of time.
Oh wow.
Um, the thing is, if you use it on somebody else, if you roll well, all good. If you roll moderately well, you're going to take that damage onto yourself, damage or disease.
Okay.
And if you roll particularly poorly, um, you can take up to twice the damage
Yeah.
or a debility. So you're statistically likely to succeed at least marginally with that.
Right.
Um, but so it is always an option. All right. So,
Hero
so
minor wounds.
could you repeat that only louder?
Ranvir also has minor wounds.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. That
Okay.
might be a good place to start as well. Anybody searching, go ahead and give me an observe roll, please.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Again, are you looking for stuff that's useful, valuable? Ranveer, mark experience, please. All right. So there is going to be, I'm going to let Xander go first. You get one question on there. You're looking for something useful, valuable, or informational, specifically medical supplies. Is that correct?
Yes, that's what
Okay,
I'm looking
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so let's see. Um, you do find some medical supplies. There is a uh, apparently the rough equivalent of like a first aid kit in the kitchen area. Again, if you're dealing with a bunch of sharp knives, doesn't hurt to have that.
for. Right.
So you got some bandages if you wanted to use those. They seem to be in decent shape. If you wanted to use those, you could bind up your wounds or support some of the, at least keep the bruising from getting too inflamed. Also, there's a handful of oddly shaped and colored rocks. They
Okay.
just look like rocks. Let me take a look at your gear to see if you've actually seen these before. Yes. Yes, these are probably purification stones.
Okay.
So if you drop one in to a measure of water, they're a minor alchemical item. Um, Basically, you drop it into a bucket of water. Anything in the bucket that's not water will glom onto the stone so that you've got drinkable water. Um, and then you can either pitch the stone or you can set it in a low fire for a few hours, and all of the gunk will fall off of the purification stone. When the fire burns out the ash, you can recover that. So you also find four kegs of water. The bad news is they're all bad. They've all been here for a very, very long time and are really gross. But you've got four more purification stones that you could make use of now. So bandages, if you want to make use of bandages,
Okay.
that's going to heal you of 4 damage. You have plenty of time to use them. You have got 6 uses of bandage. They don't weigh anything, but they are slow. So not for use in the middle of combat, but now would be a perfect time for that.
Right. If
So now you have 5
I
uses
might,
if you use them.
I'm gonna use. So you said there's six, or there are 4 points each.
Correct.
All right. I think I'll just I'll just use 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
go up to 23.
Okay, Ranveer, you get a question off that list, but you're not going to like the answer.
What is something that is valuable here?
Valuable. Excellent. Um, well, uh, there, you find some more canned food that looks like it might be half decent. However, when you move the jar, the yellow mold that's it was growing in explodes. Go ahead and give me a tough roll, please. Okay. Okay. So you're coughing and hacking and wheezing. You're making a ton of noise. You don't think you got it into your system. But yeah, Xander, while you're wrapping yourself up there real good before the game, yeah, Ranveer has a coughing fit that sounds like 7 grandmas with black lung. Yeah, he seems to be fine. You know, the old thing about if they're coughing, they can still breathe, so that's not bad. But yeah, he comes out of the some of the storage rooms just got that nice yellow fungus caked. So might need to take a few minutes to clean that off. All right. So between the bandaging and the unfortunate finding of some mold in there, Luther, you've got a chance to look around a little more. What are you doing?
Can I also use observe to like look around?
Heck yeah. Go right ahead. Just what are you searching for in particular or just looking?
I'm just looking.
Just looking. Okay. All right. You get 3 questions on that.
Okay. I'm gonna need to pull those up.
Should be right in the chat there.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, what was the last significant event to happen here?
Okay. A significant event to happen in this spacious place. Let's see. Um, well, it seems pretty obvious that this is some kind of repair facility. Um, and they've got an extensive set of tools in here. Some of the tools you don't recognize, hammers, wrenches, that sort of thing. Those are all fairly obvious, pinchers for holding hot metal. Some of them are unusual. You're not really quite sure of how they would work. For example, you've got one, it's a pole with like three or four little metal rods on it. When you squeeze the handle, the metal rods go like that. It's almost like one of those reacher grabbers in reverse. If you squeeze it, the rods get farther apart, and they've got hooks on them. No idea. Um, so the last significant thing that happened here, most of the tools look put away except for the ones on the table. It looks like whoever was here banked the fires, or put them out. There are big buckets of water. Well, not anymore, but probably held water. Um, banked the fires, put them out, tidied up the tools, and left. This was not the result of an attack. This was the result of, okay, we're done here for the minute. We'll be back. Next question.
Is there anything valuable in this place?
Yes. The tools here are very high quality. If you wanted to, grab a half a bag full of some of the wrenches, hacksaws, some of the chisels, they're really, really nice and really, really nice shape. They would be worth a lot to the right buyer. Also, very useful in the moment, cutting through things, knocking down hinges and whatnot. Valuable in any other sense?
Something that Luther would personally find like valuable to him.
Okay. Um, So you're looking for something magical.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, yes. Yes, you do. Um, your magical, you feel drawn. Your spirit is like, what's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? On the table, the rolling table, there's a small box, doesn't have a lid on it. In the box is a ring of material. It's and it's too big to be a bracelet. Um, about the size of a like if you went to a convenience store and got the biggest drink. It's about that size. It's only about this thick, and it's a ring of metal. Um, and you don't know what kind of metal it is, but your spirit is like magic, 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 magic. I want it. I want it. I want it. What do you do? Oh, you still have a third question. Oh, I'm sorry. Uh, last significant event, useful, valuable in a material sense and valuable in a magical sense. Okay, those were your three. What do you do?
So my spirit obviously really wants this bracelet, right?
It's not really a bracelet. You're not really sure what it
Well,
is.
it's bigger than
It's
a bracelet.
yeah.
Might as well just sacrifice it. Might as well.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a God. What would that be? Um, I don't. Give me a cool roll. Just
Okay.
okay. Middle of the road. Um, okay. So you feed this thing into uh your spirit's lantern. The flame gets hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter, trying to melt it. Okay, because that's your spirit's deal. I'm going to melt this metal and burn it away with my energies. Your lantern very quickly gets too hot to hold, which is a new one on you. You've sacrificed other little pretties, gold and gold and silver and stuff to your spirit. Um, so you're immune to this heat because of your dragon heart, but it's yeah, the iron of the lantern is starting to glow red, and this thing hasn't changed form in an iota. And you're feeling the frustration and anger of your spirit just um so the you're more than a little concerned that the spirit is about to melt down the lantern. That's a problem because this is kind of a safe place for your spirit to reside. What do you do?
Um, the coals in the surrounding area are they like? Could I light them?
Oh, sure, you could light the coal on fire. There's a big bin of it. Um, you might want to put it in something first, unless you want to burn the whole. Well, I say the building here is also stone. You could probably, with that much coal, if you piled that much coal up in one place, you might be able to crack rock with it, depending on how hot you got it. So, but yeah, there's bushels of coal in here. What do you do?
Um, is there a way I can remove my spirit from the lantern, put it on the coals, let it burn it, and then send it back into the lantern without destroying the lantern? Because if I don't have the lantern, I can't, like, the
Right.
spirit is in danger.
Okay, go ahead and give me another cool roll, please. Easily, easily. All right. So using your will, you say, "Oh, look at all this beautiful coal," and it leaps over to the coal bin and starts just chewing through all of this. The lantern cools down almost instantly, and the little ring of metal just sitting there innocuously. What do you do?
Can I throw the ring into the fire?
Sure. Oh, you do notice that when you take it out of the lantern, it's not even warm.
Oh,
So you're still tossing it into the bucket of
no,
coal? Okay,
no.
okay. Go ahead and give me a recall roll there, Luther, just in case. Oh, okay.
Okay.
You actually think you've heard of this kind of metal. It's sort of an off gold color. It's a very rare and hard to produce alloy. It's called orichalcum, and I can spell that for you. Orichalcum. Um, um, Orichalcum has a variety of uses. It is an alloy of platinum, gold, silver, copper, tin, iron, and mercury. It's particularly useful for magic, holding energies, channeling energies, that sort of thing. So while you're holding this thin ring of orichalcum and wondering what to do next, Xander, you think you've patched up with those two uses of bandages as much as you can get. You've got the other four in reserve. Um, and Randbeer comes out to tell you, yeah, he's fine. What do you do?
I think Xander now having like, okay, I can take another hit like that if I can just glance it off. Um, wants to kind of look at Ranveer and be like, all right, are you ready? We gotta if we're gonna do this, we gotta do this pretty quickly.
Again, who has the gemstone?
Luther.
Luther.
Hey
Yeah,
guys.
gotcha. Gotcha. All right. So, second verse, same as the first. Hey, diddle, diddle, straight up the middle, or
Uh,
did you have another plan?
I think this time Xander having seen that the ballista can fire extremely quickly once once Ranveer to possibly throw out a light object through. Would you say there's a window by the door that he can like just toss it out,
Um,
or can we open the door and
again,
he tosses
they're
it out the door?
yeah, but I don't know how far from the door you're going to be able to do that. It would be what's your let's see. Ranvir, what's your hard score?
My hard score is 6.
Ouch. Okay, so
Yeah.
your
Yeah,
hard's
that
-1, quick is 0. Um,
what
hard's going to get distance, quick is going to get accuracy.
could
So if
could we
you wanted
have
to go ahead.
could we have Ranveer put light on several objects at once and have me throw them, and like we
Sure,
can both keep a few, so that way in
sure.
case
Okay.
Question: are there just like stones around? Because
we can use those purification stones. Those should be like kind of big enough for your hand, right?
and they should be
Um,
stronger than just.
oh, if you're just looking for objects that are hand-sized and throwable, there's a bunch of old like drinking cups,
Perfect.
stone carved drinking cups. There's a dozen of them if you wanted to use those. Fit perfectly in your hand. So, um, okay, so you're going to spark up. How many of those? How many of those cups are you going to want to light up?
I think we do two for the initial,
Hmm.
right? And then two each in case that thing decides to look at one of us. We have a reaction of like, okay, let me throw this cup real fast.
Okay, beautiful. All right, so Ranper, go ahead and give me a spellcasting roll, please. Ah, beautiful.
Oh,
Okay,
amen.
so yes, you clump all the cups together, cast it. You now have 6 light spells going, or 1 light spell going on 6 different objects. Um, and you are set to jet. What do you do?
All right, so I hand 2 of them to Xander
Mm,
Yeah.
for him to do the initial throw.
okay.
Right.
All right. So, assuming this works the way you want it to, where are you throwing the 2 cups?
Okay. Let me kind of push this a little to the side. I gotta move my character sheet. Um, I think so. The doorway is right there. I think I'm gonna try and throw one. Would you say I can get an angle like over here
Oh,
where it can kind of
sure,
see it? Yeah.
sure. Throw one there, and then
Right.
the other one goes which way?
And then I'm gonna wait for it to like alert, and then as soon as it
Uh-huh.
sees that one, throw one up this direction. So
Okay.
when it starts, hopefully it'll move so that we can move like along this path and
Okay.
run, and maybe it'll
Gotcha. Okay. So from
take a minute.
here, are you going to try and throw it? Because again, you're going to be cutting the angle on the building there. That's the widest angle you can throw there, so it can't be over in here. Did you
Okay.
want to try to get it out in here? Um,
Well, I wanna.
yeah.
I'll throw the first one here, and then I guess
Uh-huh.
I can. Actually, no. Yeah, actually, I think I'll throw the first one here, and then I'll
Uh-huh.
throw the next one up here, and have us
Okay.
try and make it to. We don't know that Luther went to those stables. I think our original plan was to go deeper in. So,
Right. So
um,
where are you all planning on running once it's moving?
I think this is a wall right here, right? That little white bit.
Yes, sir.
I think I
Yeah.
want to run behind that wall. I think because we haven't necessarily seen what's over there. I think that's where I want to. I think that's where Xander wants to go.
Okay. So let me just see if I've got this correct. If you throw the first one here and get that moving toward it, and then throw the second one there,
Right.
so it's going to go zwoop and then hopefully zwoop. Is
Right.
that what
And then
that's what you're
hopefully while it's coming down here, we can make it towards like this area here. And then since it's
okay?
already looking at that, from there we can throw something back that direction and run the opposite way while we're moving. I know that'd be a little difficult, but that's the idea.
What if
Okay.
we leave a couple of them in a window where the thing could see
Right,
in the
but
building, and try
As
to
soon
get
as
into like.
as soon as we went in the building, though, it stopped chasing us, so it might not alert to things inside. It might only alert to things outside.
Well, if it was waiting for us outside the building previously, what's to say it wouldn't do it again?
Well, no, it went back to its original spot, right?
I mean,
Yes.
like what when we started?
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe I don't throw this one up here. Maybe I just throw that
Okay.
one down there, and then I try. Am I? You say the doorway probably doesn't have a sharp enough angle down here, right?
Down to where?
Down to like the corner of this building over here, just to give it like two things to hit.
I mean, if you stuck your hand out and really give it a good hug, you could try.
Okay.
No
I think
theoretical bias against it.
I think I try. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. So get it moving toward the one and then throw another one a little farther and run like hell.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and give me a quick roll for the first one.
Okay. If it'll. This is the one thing that won't. Come on. There we go. Oof.
Ouch. All right. Mark XP. Um, well, the good news is you threw it. The good
Right.
news is you threw it the right direction. The bad news is you did actually manage to the bounce it off the wall there. So it actually ends up about, well, probably not that close, but it ends up probably about there. So a hell of a lot closer than you wanted it to be. So
Yeah.
this thing comes charging over at it again. You do have time to throw the second one. Where are you throwing it?
Okay. I think I'd would you say okay, if I stepped out, I'm going to try and like take like just one step out so I can get maybe like a better angle or maybe
Uh-huh.
that throw wasn't as good and just try
Uh-huh.
and throw it further down so that
Perfect.
Ranveer can start like sprinting.
Beautiful. Okay. So go ahead and give me another quick roll to over here.
Come on, roll. Ooh,
Okay. Hmm.
5.
Problem. Tick, 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 tick. Mark XP. Okay. Rander was making his move right when you were hauling back to throw it. So you managed to drop it basically right at your own feet.
Oh god.
Yeah, so not far. Give it a good kick. All right, so this thing is charging over toward the first one. Plan is working perfectly. And the two of you are moving out. So you're going to make it to about here by the time it reaches the first one and deals with it. It's homing in on the second one. Where do you go from here?
Ranveer, do you want to throw one in
Hmm,
some opposite direction, just buy us maximum amount of time?
yeah. I try to hurl one over in like this direction. Oh,
Hold on your cursor. Oh, okay. So cutting the angle on that one from where you are now, you can huck it over there. All right, give me a quick.
Wasn't taking my quicks earlier either. There you go. Ooh.
ooh.
Mark
Oh
XP.
god.
Boy,
A
you
3.
you are all going to be like 15th level by the end of this one. You actually bounce it off of this wall here. So it is going to be. It's currently dealing with number 2, and number 3 is going to be next. Where are you moving to? Xander, you're in front. Where are you going?
So I want to try and cut around here.
Okay. All right.
Can we see those doorways to the other ones?
As soon as you get here, you can. There's two sets of double doors. Larger one to the north, larger building to the north, smaller building to the south. What do you do?
I think knowing that
And you don't see any sign of Luther.
yeah. does the one that looks like the stables? So this one looks like a stable, right? This one
It's
has a
got
smaller door.
they both have double doors. The bigger one has more stable like attributes, but they're both windowless, basically windowless rectangles made out of stone. You're not sure. Not a lot of not a lot of data from the outside.
I don't. I personally think that Xander would try and make it towards the lower one, just
Okay.
thinking that okay, like the angle from the resting point to the lower one means that it probably wouldn't be able to see us if we wanted to move after that.
Okay.
So I'd probably try and get to the lower one, and maybe
Okay.
if it seems to be dealing with the third one quickly, throw something up here.
Okay. Beautiful. All right. And Ranvir, are you following?
Yes, I'm following.
Okay. So, all right, since you both don't seem to be able to make quick rolls today, you make it to this door. It is luckily the double doors are latched from the outside, but unbarred and unlocked, and you are inside. This thing, again, you hear the ringing of steel on stone as it cleaves that cup in half and a clatter of metallic hooves as it charges that door as you close it in its face. Okay, so it does not immediately attack the door. So you are in a smallish space. Um, those light orbs that you saw in the mess hall, a couple of them flicker on, not very bright. It's cold in here. Again, no exterior windows. There's shelves, cabinets, a few lockers. There's a large metal table in the middle of the room, covered in various old. There's some dust. Might have been coming in from the outside. Um, so not quite sure. All right, back to Luther. So your spirit is about halfway through that coal and is grouchy about it, but feeding on it anyway. What do you do?
Does oh my god. Does it seem like it's gonna be slowing down anytime soon?
Um, I mean, you can call it to heal if you want to. Um, you can try to get it back into the lantern. It is having a pretty good time eating coal though. That's a fun one.
I mean, I might just let it eat the coal for now while
Mhm.
I think of something to do with the bracelet like object.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. So it's eating through the coal. What are you doing in the meantime?
I'm studying the object. If it wasn't like even slightly warm when the spirit was trying to burn it and
Mhm.
the lantern almost melted, there has to be like maybe some sort of like fire protection spell on it.
Possibly. Possibly. Okay. So you're giving it a better inspection. It's not in it's a circular like it's like a circular it's too thick to be wire. So just like a little metal circlet, mostly round. There are four places on it, equidistant, four places that are flattened slightly. Um, could be a design. It doesn't have any markings on it. And the flattened places seem to have been put there on purpose. Oh, also, if you try to flex it or anything, it doesn't bend even a little bit. What do you do?
Can I ask my spirit if it knows anything about the metal? Anything about the alloy?
Uh, it's grouchy about the alloy. It tried to melt it and it wouldn't, and it's just doesn't want to talk about it.
Okay.
and you're racking your brain. Okay, let's see, orichalcum. It takes it would take some fairly hefty magical oomph just to make this stuff. And from what you remember from that, from your recall roll, it can hold a lot of energy. Um, you're
Could I use
not
that explosive gem?
use it on what?
Use it on the on the um on the bracelet. Maybe in some way the two items are connected. Not necessarily exploding them, but maybe
Oh,
seeing if they would have some sort of unique interaction together.
oh, okay. Um, hmm, interesting. I hadn't thought of that. Go ahead and give me a sharp roll, please.
Hello?
Sometimes roll 20 takes a second. Oh my, let's go with the top one.
Yeah.
So Mark XP, you spend a very frustrating 15 minutes just trying to get these two to interact. You put one on top of the other, you put them together, you put them in the little box, you take them out of the little box, you bang them together, not too terribly hard. Um, the demonic and maniacal laughter of your spirit isn't, it's distracting. Um, but you can't seem to figure out a way. Um, well, okay, there might be a way with like a ritual to somehow combine the two or get them to interact. They seem pretty inert where that's concerned. If you did a ritual, though, the problem is you don't know what the gem does, and you don't know what the ring does, if anything. So you're considering that. Meanwhile, Xander and Ranvir, you're in a space. Lockers, shelves, cabinets, large metal table with stuff on it. What do you do?
Go ahead, Ranveer.
I think the first thing I do is like just catch my breath.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think I'm gonna look back at the door first because Xander would be the first one through and look at Ranveer, just make sure he's like okay and everything's fine. Also take a
Mhm.
minute to catch his breath and be like, good job. Yeah, that was yeah, okay. And then I think immediately he's gonna try and do like threat assessment and look around, make sure we're
Okay.
okay.
Okay. This apparently was some sort of shop. Again, less of a making things and more of a putting things together kind of a place. Um, so you find some bolts and screws and nails and a hammer and a screwdriver. You also find a fairly hefty hand crank drill. And by hefty, I mean the crank is over here. It's got like a shoulder
Right.
plate, so you could like really, and it's got a hand grip. So if you were going through a wall or a door or a hinge or anything, you could really put some power behind it. And the drill bit looks uh, fairly exceptionally sharp. Um, you don't see any place for anything to hide really. Um, check a few lockers, make sure there's nothing in there. Pretty much what you see is what you're going to get, and you don't see any places where Luther could be hiding.
Okay.
So, unless, I mean, you check the floor. Oh, let's see, check the floors. Um, tick, 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 tick. No, you're not seeing anything else that's obvious.
Okay.
All right. And we are currently at 4:27 Eastern Standard Time, gearing up on 90 minutes. Let's take a quick bio break, folks. For our viewing public, we're going to take about 10, discuss the plans of our Doti warriors and others. And we're going to see how quickly we're going to wrap this up. We'll see you in 10 minutes. Thank you so much.
All right, I will cut to. All right, a quick little voiceover on my end. Thank you to all of you who have viewed and our followers for today. We have Vicky Brindler, um, Kenzel, and Eric. So thank you all for following us today. We will be right back in 8 minutes.
And welcome back, wonderful people in the viewing public. All right. So we started out with our team of three trapped in a building. Now they're trapped in two buildings. Mwahaha. But maybe not. Maybe not. All right. If everybody could give me a sharp roll, please. Sharp rolls.
All right.
And welcome back, wonderful people in the viewing public. All right. I'm hearing some echo. With our team of three. There we go. Sharp
Okay,
rolls.
sharp, sharp. There we go.
Okay, got one. Got two. Okay, beautiful. All right. So Ranvir and Luther, independent thought. Um, First of all, Luther, you did hear some activity going on out there. Sounded a little exciting, running and yelling and clatter of metal hooves. There was a door slamming um, some short distance away. Your current impression is that maybe some of your compatriots are in the southern building. Also, Ranvir does some mental calculations and thinks that the centaur creature would not have a direct line of sight on either one of those sets of double doors. Not knowing how well it can hear, you'd probably want to start out as really, really sneaky, but it's entirely possible that you could reunite the hordes here, gather the banners and the clans. So, what do you do?
So first, is there anything that can I roll an observation check to see what's in like in the lockers and stuff in the building we are in?
Um, let's see. So you're just going to do an extensive search, see if there's anything hidden, not immediately obvious.
That's correct.
Okay, go ahead and give me an observe, please. Okay, middle of the road, one question.
All right. What here is useful?
Useful. Okay. How are you defining useful in this situation? Useful broadly, like tools, useful specifically potentially against your opponent. How are you defining useful?
Useful in the sense against our opponent.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, what do you know? It's obviously got eyes, and it's obviously drawn to light sources. Okay. So, um, you do have those wall-mounted artificial lights, the light spells that are they're still fairly dim and flickering, but depending on the ambient light outside, and you have been here for a while, so it is getting on toward dusk. Um, Depending on ambient light, you might be able to use those as a distraction. Um, Another thought that drags into the possibilities, you'd have to get up close and personal, and it would be quite dangerous. But if you were able to actually get a light spell on this thing's eyes or face, um, you might be able to blind it for some period of time. But you would have to be within touching distance.
Hmm.
So, you can gather two or three more of those light orbs if you want.
Yeah, so I'll grab the orbs.
Beautiful. All right. So now what?
I think Xander realizing, okay, there's not really a threat here. We need to start looking for Luther. Is gonna like do the whole thing again. Like, all right, Rambo, look, and just do the all right, and then
Okay.
open the door.
Which of the two of you has the lower quick score, please?
I have a -1 modifier. What about you?
I have 0.
Okay, Xander, you're up then. Don't give me a quick roll, and you don't want to roll low.
Okay, here we go. Oh boy.
Mark
5.
experience. All right. So you're sneaking and sneaking and sneaking, and something clatters. Maybe an armor piece that got knocked out of place. You haven't had a chance to fix it. You did hit pretty hard, and that thing rounds the corner, and head pivots, locks on you. It is charging with the double-sized halberd. So you were both out in the open, but um, you think, oh, you're pretty sure you can make it back inside the place where you were. You might be able to make it inside the other doors if they're not locked from the inside. What do you do?
Do we still have those light source?
Yes, you do.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just have them.
I'm saying, like, would you say our cups? Wait, how many cups did I throw? All right, hold on.
You're down 3 and you made 6, so you have 3
Okay.
of the
I'm,
light
I'm gonna
cups still.
throw. I'm gonna throw. I think I have. I think he threw one. I didn't end up throwing my other two. I'm gonna throw one then, around. So we're coming out this door here. So I'm probably gonna
Yep,
try and throw it back. You say
back
it's around in the corner? Yeah,
back
just
back
back
this way.
that way. Yeah,
Okay, go ahead and give me a roll. Are you going for distance or accuracy?
just pure distance.
Okay, give me a hard roll, please.
Okay, 8.
Beautiful. All right, so it ends up over here, bouncing around a little bit in this little alcove. The thing immediately follows the flight of the light and charges back that way. So it's not a leisurely walk, but again, you could go back inside, you could explore to the south, or you could try through that door to the north of you. What do you do?
I think looking for Luther, the military instinct of we gotta clear far and then move. I think
Mhm.
he's gonna try and check this building out.
Okay, beautiful. Well, since Luther didn't make any noise about locking that double door, it's easy to get inside. And the three of you are tearfully reunited. No, it's just like, oh, it's you. Yeah, you're not dead yet. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, so you're inside this large warehousey, um, stably area. There is a brisk fire going in by a forge area. There's a large bin. You're smelling the coal smoke. You see the dancing flames of maybe you recognize Luther's fire spirit, maybe you don't. But the maniacal, demonic laughter coming from this burning bin of coal is a pretty clear indicator. Luther is frowning at this large ring of odd looking metal, and he's got the flame gemstone in the other hand. So, reunited, and it feels so good. What do you do?
I think seeing a precious metal,
Yeah.
uh, Xander's gonna be like, oh, I mean, and think back to how Hikari's kind of looking for something new. Um,
Okay.
I think he's gonna
Xander,
even say,
you don't know if
what's
you've
that?
ever seen this kind of metal before.
That makes it all the more enticing. I think he's gonna ask Luther what he's holding.
It's some I don't remember the name. It's some like magic combination of every metal almost ever. And it just will not melt in fire.
So
So
Give me a recall roll there, Xander.
okay.
Oh, and you can too.
Oh,
Tick tock,
oh,
tick
11.
tock. Ranveer.
Okay.
Okay. Ranveer, you go down a mental rabbit hole. Um, so go ahead and mark XP. Um, something something's going on with that. I'm going to hold one, and I'm going to give you a -1 to something intellectual at some point in the future. Xander, yes, you do recall this. This is a metal called orichalcum. The things that it strikes you is it's hard to make, or it usually requires magic to make, and it can hold a lot of magical energies. Some of the most powerful artifacts that you've ever heard of, ever in myth and story, had a little bit or more of orichalcum as part of the construction. Um, and that's, again, the ring the size of the lid of a soda cup, um, rounded edges except for 4 flat spots. And it doesn't surprise you that Luther wasn't able to melt it. It's tough stuff.
Okay, I think Xander's gonna look at Luther and be like, "All right, we found you. Um, would you mind if I hold on to that? You know, I
It's in pretty safe hands in my arms. If I can't melt it, then I really can't destroy it.
right, right,
So
right, and maybe it's not as useful to you, but I'm on my holy mission as it is right now. Not necessarily my mission, but it would be very beneficial for me to take this back to my spirit. Um, Perhaps I'm not saying that this not in good conscience, but perhaps we can, me and Ranvir over here can safely get you out of this building, right? We can take you. Perhaps the next thing is yours, as they would say, you have dibs on the next thing. Is that okay? Just dibs on the next thing. I mean, you already got this
well,
cool flame thing. I
I
mean,
mean, the issue is my spirit also seems really interested in this object. So it would be kind of hard for me to just simply give it away.
uh,
There's
hmm.
a spitting sound from the bin of burning coal. Randveer, what actually drew your attention is this wagon light object. Never seen the like. Mostly metal construction, large metal wheels, heavily spoked, drop down in the back, bench seats, and no visible means of locomotion. So it's a mystery. It's a mystery. Um, do you still have the orb with the wording on it, Luther?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, so your spirit has chewed through about 3/4 of that coal. The color of the flames tells you it's starting to get a little bored. What do you do?
I might as well just put it back in the lantern for now to guarantee like the safety of it.
Okay, okay. Um, and it jumps back in, cackling gleefully, well fed for the moment. Yeah, so you've got a space, forges over here, set up for some fairly industrial stuff, some fairly complete toolkits. Um, it's got the rolling table with some odd looking tools on it and the wagon thing. What do y'all do?
Can I do like a deep look over the wagon?
Sure, give me an observe, please. Ouch. Mark experience. Ask a question, but you're not going to like the answer.
What here is not what it appears to be.
What here is not what it appears to be. Oh, that ring of stuff that Luther has. Whatever you think it is, it's not. Could be a weapon, could be a explosive, could be a tool, but yeah, it's definitely more than a simple little goldish colored circlet. What do you do?
I ask Luther if he knows what it is or what he thinks he knows it's for.
I mean, It's kind of cool looking, and it's very resistant to like very high flames. There's a lot of there's like symmetrical indents on it. I would assume it would be some sort of like, I don't know, like magic absorber. Not sure, but it's pretty cool.
So, Xander, what are you doing?
I think after being rejected from such a precious metal, I think Xander is gonna for sure do what he always does: look around the room, see if there's anything that has an indication towards useful in the moment. So
Okay. Okay. Well, again, tools, chisels, drills, a lot of forge tools. There's a couple of anvils of various sizes. You got a lot less coal than you had before, but there is coal, bellows, buckets that probably held water at some point and don't now. And then there's the wagon thing. The wagon tailgate thing is all the way down, providing a rope, ramp up into the inside. It's evidently got um, it's got stuff cut into the inside, so it makes it easier to climb in. You wander in with one of your light orbs, and dimly, it just looks like it's a lot of places to sit. And you're like, all right, what would you do? It's got the little arrow slits and it's got the thing. Maybe it's like a pillbox. Maybe they just like push it
right.
into position and you shoot. Okay. But then it's got slits in the sides here and in the front. And there's the one seat in front with all these dials and knobs and things. Um, and
I
no
think
place to hitch up a horse.
I think he's gonna go to that front seat and start like honestly pushing buttons and seeing what if anything happens, if there's any.
Okay. Okay. So you start pushing things. Um, Not a lot happens. There are there's some like fluid dials. There's a lot of pipes going through here of various sizes. There's one of those dials that just has a large capital P above it, and it's got an indicator that's all the way over to the one side. Um, uh, it's got another thing here that's got like it's almost like a level, when you put
Mhm.
a level on something to make sure it's level. It's got some oil in it that's all the way down to the bottom, um, and it's numbered. Up the one side, there's a 0, there's like a 5, a 10, a 15, and a 20. But the oil is currently on 0.
Okay.
Um, Again, various things. Um, yeah, it's quite confusing. You have not not putting the pieces together here.
So
So, go ahead.
knowing all this, I think he might want to call maybe some more technically
Astute.
astute people exactly, and he might try
Gotcha.
and get both Luther and Ranveer to come inside and maybe just like take a look around. If anything, it's a safe
Oh,
place for us to rest. So
oh, true, true. And the benches are kind of sort of padded. Anybody taking a real close look at this thing can give me an observe, and that does count you, Xander.
okay, 7 indeed. You too.
Okay.
Observe rolls.
Yeah.
Oh, am I doing it?
Yeah.
Uh, I
If
didn't
you
know what
don't
it
if
was.
you don't want to be involved, that's cool too. But anybody who is checking out this device can feel free to make an observe roll.
I mean, I looked at it earlier, so I don't know why Luther would be looking at it again.
Gotcha. Ranveer, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, you actually find some things about this object that are unusual. Um, there's some latches on the outside that if you undo them, it hinges open. And there's a bin, an empty bin. Down at the bottom, there's a lot of coal dust. Okay. Ranveer, you're like, oh, panels. Where are there some panels? Um, so you're looking for anything that opens. You thought this was a cabinet inside. You open it, and there's this blisteringly confusing array of wire and piping. Um, however, very prominently in the upper middle is a circular area. It's marked. There's a white painted circle on the back of the cabinet. From the top, the sides, and the bottom are. Does everybody know what I mean by an alligator clip?
Yeah.
Yeah, metal clips. One hanging from the top, one poking up from the bottom, and two on the sides.
So I think the ring might be a battery
Could be.
because
Could
if
be.
it looked about the
It-
same size
Yep, it looks like a fairly appropriate size.
and if it can resist heat and store energy, it's most likely a battery.
Very possible.
So I
Very
call
possible.
Luther over
Okay.
and I basically, hey, we think your ring's a battery and might be our chance to get out of here. So could we use it as such?
I mean, if it gets us out of here, why not? But
Okay.
y'all owe me.
Okay.
Okay. So it does actually fit in place. You clip it in place. Um, and a series of lights comes up in front of the one single chair in front of you.
I think Xander's
Um,
not gonna try and grab the chair. I think he's gonna try to wait for one of those two to sit there, knowing it was already
Okay.
kind of confusing.
Okay.
Ranveer can definitely step up to the chair.
Okay. Give me a sharp roll, Ranveer.
Oh my.
Okay.
Boy, a 4.
Who's inside the space right now?
I am. Xander
I'm
is for
not.
sure.
I'm standing
Okay.
right outside.
Well, you get some information here, Ranveer. They're part of the array in front of you is it's like a carved coin. It's like a coin sort of embedded in the middle of this thing. When you push it forward, the whole thing starts to move forward. Okay. You're thinking that maybe if you pull it back, it goes backwards. If you push it to this way, it goes left. If you push it this way, it goes right. But the way you find out that it goes forward is you accidentally slide it to the max to the front, and you and Xander and this horseless carriage go punching right out through those double doors. And you've got a weaponized metal minotaur rapidly approaching. What do you do? Luther, you just saw these guys, boom, right out there. They're dragging the tailgate. "Ah!" Okay. So Ranveer, give me a quick roll to keep from running into something. Okay, that'll do it. So Ranveer, as you come barreling out of here, you have a choice. You can try to thread the needle through this gap in the curtain wall. You think you might be narrow enough to make it through there, or you can try to do a sharp turn and head directly toward the big bad, who is actually heading towards you at a gallop. It's just turned the corner here. What do you do?
Ooh. I think because Ranveer naturally is not a person to leave somebody behind.
Uh-huh.
takes the turn to try to see if it could at least get Luther's attention to get out of there.
Okay.
While we have that thing, occupied.
Okay. You're barreling down straight on it. It's not swerving. The double-sized halberd comes down and crashes onto this thing. Are you doing anything to try to avoid it?
I think either a full turn, maybe to shake the halberd off.
Okay.
Either
Okay.
like rip it out of the centaur's hand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Give me an avoid peril roll with Dex, or I'm sorry, with Quick, please.
Avoid peril. Do I just hit that?
Yep. Should give you an option for which stat to use.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Ouch. Okay, that would be a 4. Mark experience. All right. So, the halberd comes down, embedding itself right through the armor of this thing. You're sitting there, and the axe head is about this far in front of your face. All right. It is fairly wedged. You do a quick turn around with the thing. Luther, you're looking out. This metal centaur is on top of the front of this wagon thing, trying to get the halberd out. It's careening all over the place, trying to shake it off. Again, the armored wagon gate is kicking up sparks on the stonework here. Xander, you're holding on for dear life, doing shoulder rolls in the back, trying not to fall out. Xander, what do you do?
I think kind of seeing what. Well, actually, with the slits, am I able to see what's happening, or do I just know that we're moving?
You can hear the clitter clatter of little hooves on the roof, and it ain't Santa. That halberd blade that you can see embedded this far through the significant armor plating above you. Yeah, you think that thing's up top. Now, there is a hatchway above you that you could throw open and engage this thing if you desperately wanted to.
I think I'm
Would
gonna throw the hatch open,
uh,
but if I can, just knowing this thing and being like, okay, gotta try it one more time. Throw the hatch open and throw my last orb just out, just to see if it'll abandon its halberd and let us go. And if not,
oh,
hoping that it'll fire its ballista at the ball so that Luther can be able to escape and get
gotcha,
out.
gotcha. Okay, go ahead and just give me a quick roll.
Okay, not what I'm good at. Here we go. A 3.
Ouch. Mark XP. Okay, so that would be a 3. All right, so you bounce the light orb off the inside of the conveyance. It bounces out the back. The thing finally wrenches the halberd off, and there's a clatter, clatter. You're sort of vaguely going in a straight line, and you see the thing come down two-handed on this glowing cup. Um, it whips around, and it's looking straight up the back end of this thing at you. The halberd is swiveling around. Luther, you see this happening. This thing is about to fire directly up the main street of this conveyance, this wagon. What do you do?
So you said earlier that the wagon was creating sparks, right?
Correct.
Would there be any way that I could throw my gem at like maybe the feet of it or maybe like the center of it that would cause it cause a big enough explosion to like stumble it or like maybe like launch it away?
Give me an attack. Go. That would be a quick roll, please. Let fly. Okay.
A 6. Oh boy.
All righty. All right. Give me 3d6, please. Not bad. Not bad. 8 points of damage, ignoring armor. All right. So, the good news is that you do manage to catch the centaur thing in the blast, dealing 8 points of damage. And it seemed to get its attention. The problem is you caught the wagon thing in the blast as well. Xander, give me a quick roll.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh
Ouch.
boy.
Okay. Mark XP.
That's a 6.
That would be a 6. Take 8 points of damage, please. Do not apply armor. Ranveer, you give me a quick roll, please.
I am scoring.
Okay, 4. You take 8 points of damage, no armor. And the blast knocks this thing off its wheels, basically. It goes over and skids. The only saving grace is that the big tailgate swings up through inertia and slams shut. You hear a crunch as it seats. So, you two are smoking on your sides in a downed wagon of some stripe. There is the ceiling, the hatch that was formerly in the roof. Now it's on the side there. It's big enough for one person to fit out of at a time. All the lights on the control surfaces go dead. And you hear the wheels spinning. Luther, you did knock this thing back with the fire blast, and it did do some damage. You see some smoke coming up from the between the armor plates, and it turns to look at you, and the ballista swivels to bear. What do you do?
Was there anything like extremely explosive in the room that we were previously just in? Like any
Well,
like
you're first of all, you're standing in the doorway, if that helps you. Explosive. Well, I mean, if you had enough coal dust and you ground it up real good, and you could probably find a way to do that. If you got the dust fine enough, and could somehow keep it suspended, you could make a dust explosion that would be fairly significant. The prep on that would take a little while, though. Or you could start throwing firebolts. You've got that ability as well.
I think my best bet would to just try to keep it occupied, keep it distracted.
Okay. It's firing at you. What do you do?
I run back in the room.
Okay, diving for cover. Go ahead and give me a quick roll, please.
Please.
Hey.
Please.
Okay, it succeeds.
terrible.
However, got a hard choice. You will make it to safety. The ballista bolt will not hit you. However, you either lose something that you have temporarily or permanently, or you miss something important. Which one?
I'll lose something that I have.
Okay, what do you got in your gear?
I have the lantern, obviously.
No
Adventuring gear, water, poultices and herbs, antitoxins, the journal, an empty flask of alcohol, and the faded light orbs.
Yeah, you managed to drop your water. It's out there in the open. You slam the door, the ballista bolt embeds itself in it. And there you are. All right, Xander, Ranveer. You don't think this thing is on fire, but you're smoky. There's the smell of hot metal and burnt burnt cloth, and you're in a sideways wagon.
Where would you say the wagon is in on this area?
Okay, let's just randomly determine that. Let's see. Do a D8. Do 6. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the wagon, you think, just based on what you can see out through the little hatch there, you think the wagon is over here someplace. It
Okay.
is. Come on, we go. It is sort of at an angle like that. Oh, and that little glowing light source is no longer there. You chopped it in half, and he is no longer here. All right, so you hear some clatter of metal hooves on stone. There's a clanking and ratcheting sound as the ballista reloads, and it circles or tries to circle this object, not with great effect because you're up against one of the walls there. So the hatch is actually facing away from the its normal hangout spot.
Okay.
And the thing is pretty big. The possibility exists that if you made a run for it straight up through that gap in the wall, if you were slow and quiet and crouching, it might not even notice. That's a theory anyway. Yeah, and you didn't hear any screaming or bleeding or dying from over the other direction. Of course, it was quite loud in here. But the possibility exists that Luther is still among the living. What do you do?
I think Xander's gonna do the same thing he always does every time he tries to attempt to be stealthy and just go. And then open the hatch as quietly as possible.
Oh no, the hatch is already open.
Okay. Then go through the hatch and like
Uh,
start crawling and like do a quick little let's go.
Well, one thing.
okay.
Can Ranveer quickly grab the ring?
Yes, you can grab the ring, and you're going to follow.
If I could use a spell on the ring, would it be amplified?
You
Could
don't
I
know.
essentially make a flashbang?
You don't know. What spell were you thinking about working?
If I can just overpower light into there, and it's like already containing so much energy, could I essentially make something that could either blind or like do something to the center that buys us a lot more time?
Well, again, no theoretical bias against it. What kind of magic do you have in mind to overload this thing?
Well, if it was just powered, like if it was just powering the van, I'm sure it already has a lot of energy inside of it moving. Because it.
So
Could-
what in your current spell list do you think might be suitable to breach this thing? It has shown to be fairly fairly resistant to fire.
What sanctuary?
Sanctuary consecrates an area to a spirit or a god. Sanctuary would let you know if if anything crosses the boundaries.
What if I
Magic.
use
Go ahead.
Sanctify and use that divine power? Because it's anything I hold in my hand. It usually is for food and water, but if that divine power is to the hands,
Okay. So you're going to consecrate it, give it the tag holy. Give me a hot roll, Ranveer. 8. Okay.
a lot better than my
All right. So
Yeah.
you explain to your spirits that you're trying to breach this object and release all of its energy at once. It says that it thinks it's capable of doing that, but cannot guarantee your safety if it does. Do you still want me to do it?
Yes.
Okay. So go ahead and sanctify that to me. Give it to me completely. Then throw it at your enemy and get in some cover. You're going to need it. So go ahead and give me a sanctify roll, please. Beautiful. You will lose access to this until you've had a chance to rest because you put
Okay.
your heart and soul into it. So that would be a 9. All right. Go ahead and give me a quick roll. Xander, you have just crawled out of the confines of the fortress. You're right over here. Did you want to go to the left or the right?
I think would I be able to tell about perhaps like any opening that is closer, I guess closest to Luther, so I can kind of like grab him and
Yeah,
maybe
you
maybe
think,
to, we extract real quick.
okay. You think if you can get over to this one, you'll be behind the building. And you think there's a narrow little alleyway between the two. Again, if this thing goes back to where it normally hangs out, if you sneak in there, go around behind it, and then get Luther's attention, you might be able to do that. Okay. So you've got a wall between you. You're up and moving or still crawling?
I'm gonna when I get outside, I'll probably be
Oh,
up and moving until I get kind of like this close, and
okay,
then
cool. So you're looking in that gap, seeing if there's anything um dangerous. Let's reveal some areas for you here. You don't see anything interior of the wall. If you take are you going back into the fortress?
if I do, I'm gonna try and be as stealthy as possible, like
Okay,
crouch, you know.
okay. You take a quick peek around this corner. You see down to the other end, there is another um, big gap in the fence, or I'm sorry, big gap in the wall right about there. All right.
Okay,
And about that time, Ranveer, give me a quick roll, please.
Man, this
you
is
got it. Please, please.
Come on.
wrong. You hit the quick.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, the good news is it works. The bad news is it works. There is a titanic explosion. Um, so, Ranveer, I need you. How are you going to withstand this? Are you trying to get out of the way? Are you trying to tough it out? Curl up in a little ball? How are you going to get? There's a monstrous explosion. Um,
Is the
what?
explosion enough to move the bus?
Oh, hell yes. Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Oh yeah, no.
Then the best thing to do is get behind any kind of wall or anything that could block it. Something that's
Okay.
stable.
Okay. All right. So you huck it and make a run for it. Go ahead and give me a quick roll, please. Wow.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
So, you make it right here, dive behind the wall when the explosion happens. You feel behind you the shockwave slam that wagon thing right between the two walls. Wham! Okay. Would have knocked you over like a straw in a hurricane. Okay. Even then, you are flattened. Okay. So you're going to pick yourself up and dust yourself off. Luther, there is a massive explosion from outside the building. The doors fly into the room. How are you possibly going to survive this?
Um. Okay. So in the room, does the furnace in the room stick out of the wall?
Yeah.
Can I either jump into it or jump
Yes.
behind it?
Yes. Go ahead and give me a quick roll, please. Mark experience.
That's a 5.
Okay. And finally, Xander. The building that you're behind collapses partially in this explosion. Stonework is flying. Um, you have no idea what just happened, but something blew up big, 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 big. How do you possibly survive all of this rock and stuff falling and flying and stuff?
Honestly, um, him just being the guy that he is probably gonna be like, all right, I don't think I'm gonna be able to move too quickly. I'm gonna try and like curl up behind my shield and just like flatten myself against the ground.
Beautiful. Grab some real estate. All right, give me a tough roll, please.
All right. Second. Tough. Tough. There we go. That's a
Oh
tough.
Nice.
yeah.
Okay.
There we
Dang.
go. There
Okay.
we go.
You and that
So,
shield.
Damn.
all right.
I'm done.
So the bad news is, Luther, you zigged when you should have zagged. Actually, it was a good idea if the entire forge setup hadn't been blown across the room. Okay. So you are actually pinned on the far wall. Um, let's see. Go ahead and give me, I don't know, 48, please.
48.
Okay. Take 21 points of damage. Do not apply armor. And let's do a World of Pain roll, please. Go ahead and just click on that. See what happens.
What are you at right now, Luther?
1.
Oh,
He's on the verge.
Okay. Um, yeah. All right. So no additional damage. You're holding out. When they dig you out of the rubble because of the maybe the cries you were making, maybe the crackling of your flame spirit.
The cracking on my bones.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So, boom, big, 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 big boom, and the aftermath. You don't hear anything. Um, a a quick peek around looking for what in the heck could possibly have happened. There is a crater, smoking crater, that would normally be about that big, about where the bad thing was. Um, any of those, actually, slightly larger than any of those walls, the freestanding walls, they are now rubble. Okay. The largest building there in the center That seems to have weathered it okay. But all of the all of the other walls are showing signs of damage. Um, Again, those two are basically the two inside the circle are basically gone. The front third of this building is collapsed, so it takes you a little while to find a way to get in and save him. This one, not entirely rubble, but you don't know if you'd want to go in there. The mess hall is completely trashed. Um, this building is banged up, and it did have the advantage of buckling open those double doors. If you take a little further peek around, this building is damaged but not bad. This building, the corner is damaged but not bad. Um, and the space, when you get a chance to look there, um, the space behind these buildings was fairly well shielded, but just the shockwave, it was full of things like wagons and carts, old wagons and carts, and they've all been thrown up against the interior walls. There's somewhere between 10 and a dozen carts in wagons in various states of disarray and dust. Since they were mostly wood, they've dry rotted, and some of them are powder. There might be something over there. Excuse me. There might be something over there to salvage. Um, but other than that, there is well, okay. I was going to say there is no sign of the centaur thing, but there actually is. Um, Apparently, the um, halberd, double-sized halberd, flipped up and came down spike first somehow. It's embedded in the stonework there. It's melted over at an angle. It's like it's this gentle curve, like a banana. Um, Very obviously useless, but still pretty impressive. And the smaller blast crater on the inside dug out um, probably like, oh, sorry, that's not a circle. Probably dug out 10 feet of rock. So, yeah, that was a big boom. Um, but apparently, you did that thing in. So, well done. And we are creeping up on 6 o'clock. So this looks like a good time for a end of session. Teehee. Okay, so first of all, let's do the big three. Why the heck not? Let's do the big three. First question. Did you learn something new about the world?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
you did.
Yeah.
Yes, you did. Orichalcum can hold a lot of energy. Who knew? Everybody mark 1 XP, please. Did you defeat a noteworthy opponent?
I should hope.
Oh,
think so.
yes, you
I would
did.
hope so.
Decisively, indeed. So everybody mark 1 experience. Did you recover a noteworthy treasure?
The
I-
It
orichalcum.
depends if the
Well,
if
it depends if
if
it's
The
the
room's
still
still
there.
alive.
yeah.
Okay. You're not walking away with it. The orichalcum ring, there's no sign of it.
Dang.
So we're going to call that one MIA. So no treasure recovered as of yet. Probably if you get into some of the bigger buildings next time, you might have some luck there. Okay, so now check your motivation. All of you have a motivation goal. Check your motivation to see if you hit your motivation goal for the session. For those of you watching at home, um, many systems use alignment. Splintered Moon uses motivation. So, Acolyte Xander, did you endanger yourself to protect someone weaker than you?
I think so. Um, Especially with the cart, I like trying to throw that thing so it wouldn't hit Luther.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
so
Ranvir, did you use magic to aid somebody else?
I think in a broad sense, yes, since we're not going to be dealing
Yes,
with
you
that
did.
thing anymore.
Yes,
I
you
have
did.
1 HP. I have
Yes, you
one
did.
HP.
Ruh-roh. And
Oh, that wasn't you.
Luther, did you take a risk for your own personal gain?
Yeah, probably.
Yes, you did. Hey, let's see what this does. Mwahaha. That was a pretty big risk. Okay, so all of you mark 1 XP for your motivational goals. Next up, take a look at your bonds. Bonds, again, are relationships between PCs. Um, just tell me if any of those bonds have changed appreciably. Um, any major changes in attitude about one or more of the other PCs? You can have more than one bond change per session, but you can only get 1 XP for it. So Ranvir, have you had any major changes of heart about the noble Xander or the clever Luther? Any changes of heart there?
I don't think I had any change of heart about Luther. But I think the bond between Ranvir and Xander is quite strong now, given the ordeal we just went through, the two of us.
Okay. So looks like your current bond with Xander. Do you have more than one? Let's take a look. You respect his devotion to faith and you empathize with his mission. Um, tell you what, if you wanted to add one, as opposed to changing that one, if you wanted to add another Xander blood, that would actually have a mechanical benefit of giving you a +2 on any roll to assist him. Um, so what would you say is what did you say is the additional blood? Is it I owe Xander my life, or I would trust Xander with my life,
I would
or
trust Xander with my life.
beautiful, write it down and mark 1 XP, please. Xander, did you have any changes of heart about your associates here?
I think I added one. I added one for Luther. Just because like I really needed that ring, and like that was my goal. Is like, okay, no matter what we do here, I can at least take this back, and I've had a successful excursion.
Mhm.
So I put just wrath wise, I put Luther tempts my baser natures.
I love it. I love it.
Like we probably
You,
wouldn't have had to do all that if he had just given me
yes.
the ring.
Yes, you remind me of the story of the paladin, the bad guy that captured him. He's like, "You're not going to do anything to me. You'd lose all your paladin powers if you did." And the paladin takes off his helmet and he sets it down. He says, "Yeah, I would. I'd lose all of my powers." So you got to ask yourself, is today the day? What? Did you do something bad enough that I'm willing to damn my soul forever in order to set what you did wrong right? Oh God, she's in the closet. I hit her. She's got food. Please don't murder me. It's like, yeah, that's what I thought. Helmet back on. Yeah, so paladins are great until you really step on their toes, and then they'll, don't sleep. Just don't sleep.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Luther, as you're lying there, bones broken, spirit crushed. Not really. It would take a lot.
Almost.
It would take a lot to crush your spirit.
Absolutely.
Broken bones. Who cares?
Yeah.
They grow back. Did you have any changes in attitude about any of your compatriots?
I mean, not really. I was in a room by myself the whole time. So,
Yeah, half the time. But again, you did get to see Ranvir drive around some sort of magical conveyance, causing mayhem. You did see Xander, take a few chances for the team, and you did see somebody blow up an entire, castle here. That was kind of
that
impressive.
was funny. You know what? I'm gonna change Ranvir's thing to him being his optimism is strange, and he has a lot of kick to him.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Ranvir, fun at parties. Awesome. Okay, mark XP for that. All right. Now, gold stars. Gold stars. Each of my players gets a gold star to reward to any of the other players for any reason or no reason. We'll start with the man of the hour, Ranvir. Ranvir, burning stuff and blowing shit up. Right on. Only on Saturdays. Be there. Ranvir, who gets your gold star for the evening?
I have to say, Xander just because of how much we suffered together through our roles.
Oh yeah, shared trauma, baby. That's what makes it. Yeah, that's every good relationship. All right, Xander, Mark 1 XP. Hey, who gets yours? Will?
I'm also gonna say Ranveer because those light orbs, we would not have been alive.
Just yeah, yeah. The flares. Basically, you're throwing flares for
Yeah.
the T-Rex. Good job. Excellent. All right, Luther. Who gets your gold star for the evening?
Um, Ranveer, I did like the explosion. It almost killed me, but I did like the explosion.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's the yeah. That tells me a lot about Luther. Oh my gosh, that explosion just about killed me. Oh, I'm so sorry. No, it was awesome. Let's do it again. Woo! All
Oh
right.
yeah.
So I had my other teams talk me into giving out a GM Gold Star. Okay, it's a two-parter. If we had kind of a woo session, I would be giving one of you a special +1 forward for the next session. Next session, you can spend it anytime.
Ooh.
If, on the other hand, we had a relatively eventful session like this one, I'm going to give a gold star worth 1 XP. I'm going to have to give it to Luther. Okay, Luther, and I'll tell you why. You made some questionable choices, but you made them in line with how your character thinks and feels. Okay, did it cause problems for everybody else? Kinda. Running off by yourself, was that the best choice? Well, everybody said we were running off this way, and I didn't ask him to take a crossbow, ballista bolt to the chest. Who am I? So, you're living your life. You're staying true to your goals and your values. Okay. Um, so and it really hurt you. So, pain is a very talented instructor. So here, take one more XP to round out that education a little bit. All right. So everybody check your XP. You're all currently, I think you're also currently first level. Yeah.
I'm
First,
level
second,
2.
I'm
level
level 1.
two.
I'm
Okay.
level 1.
So take your current amount of XP. I'm sorry, take your current level and add 7. Current level and add 7. If you have more than that and experience, congratulations, you just leveled up. So my first level folks, subtract 8 XP from your total, level up to level 2. My second level good buddy here, subtract 9 from your total and level up to 3. We can walk through the process of level up between now and the next session. All righty. So hey, I think this was one heck of a session.
Wait, I leveled up twice.
Yeah, you leveled up twice.
How many
Oh
XP you
my
got, Bones?
gosh.
You had 18.
We did fail a lot. We failed so much.
He
Okay,
leveled up twice.
okay. That's pretty impressive. Okay, I will tell you, I will share a very brief story. In one of the other games I was running, I had a player fail 17 rolls in a row. Okay, so nothing for end of session, nothing, no gold stars, 17 rolls in a row. All right. And the math teacher in me says 3 is statistically unlikely, 5 is getting weird, 9 is like well outside one standard deviation, 17. It was a very, very entertaining session. And she leveled up twice just on failure points in that session. So yes, Ranveer, Payne is a very talented instructor, and you're a professor now, so it's great. So we'll walk you through the level up process. All right, everybody else out there in the viewing public, thank you so much for your time, energy, and effort. Please tune in next time as these gentle beings try to make the world safe for the spirits of the light and the spirits of darkness. And also tune into some of our other no theoretical bias podcasts, not podcasts, live streams, and we will make live very, very interesting. We've got about 14 sessions coming up in November, 4 different teams, 4 different games, uh, 3 different settings, I think. So should be fun, fun, fun. And we hope to see you next time.